Welcome to Daily Teas, episode number 3. I think I'm going to call this one's for you, Father. As of recording this, it is Sunday, June 20th, and it is Father's Day. Today, like most Sundays, I went out golfing with my good buddy, his dad, and a selection of his dad's good friends that go golfing every Sunday. I am very thankful that I get to partake and participate and have been invited to play with these gentlemen. It's a good time. My dad liked to play golf. His dad, my grandfather, also liked to play golf. In fact, I got my first golf set, it was plastic, when I was 3 years old from my grandfather. That's how I started. I had golf lessons from a PGA certified professional. His name was Brian Crawford, and we did lessons down on 33 in Farmingdale, New Jersey. That driving range that he had worked at no longer exists. In fact, he ended up moving over and teaching lessons there was a Farmer Brown's driving range in Mini Putt next to the space, and we ended up doing some lessons there. And even that now has been removed from the site. I think it's being turned into luxury apartments or something. Not important. My dad left, or was kicked out, in August of 1999. I was 9 years old. Eventually, I would reconnect with him in June of 2008. I was 18. It was actually my birthday. My brother had come home to visit and wanted to take me golfing, and then had suggested that he wanted to take us out golfing with our father. At that time, from 1999 to 2008, I had been without him for half my life. In fact, during a lot of those years, I hated him. And I don't like to hate. Actually, even more so to this day, I don't even say that I hate things as much as I greatly dislike them. But I did hate him for what he did to my mom, for what he did to us. More importantly, by the time I got to be 19, 20 years old, the only thing I really wanted from him was to understand. I wanted to understand him. I wanted to understand what made him make certain decisions in his life, because I never knew. And anything I ever really knew about the man was told to me and fed to me from my mother. And I'm not trying to downplay or invalidate my mother's emotional spectrum and what she was feeling and how hurt she must have been by his actions. But I realized that my opinion of my father, my thoughts, my perspective of him, wasn't my own. So I had agreed to go golfing with him, with my brother. I didn't talk to him that day. We were out on the golf course. I think there was one moment where our golf balls ended up near each other. I got there first. I had said, hey Tom, your ball's over here. Struck my ball and walked away. It wasn't until we got back to my grandparents' house when him and I finally were in a room alone together. He started to cry. He apologized for everything he had done. I didn't forgive him, but I did tell him that we can move on. At the time, maybe this is speculation of what I thought back in the day. It wasn't for me to forgive him for what he did. He really had to forgive himself, because I don't spend too much time in the past, or I don't let the past spend too much time in my present, affecting what I'm trying to do or accomplish. He looked at me, I looked at him, and we came to an understanding of if we wanted to be in each other's lives or to even try to have a relationship with each other, that this was the start that we needed. We ended up communicating with each other every so often. I was in college at the time. He didn't want to bother me. Every Christmas, we used to do Christmas at my grandparents, his parents. And that tradition had been left for the years that he was gone. So I ended up starting to do Christmas again with them. And it was nice, it was joyous. It was what you'd want and expect out of a Merry Christmas. I've always wanted more information. My father was a very emotional person. And anytime he would get into something, and I meant, when I say into, I mean when he got emotionally engaged in a conversation, something that he was passionate about or something that would make him just passionate about the way he would speak of something. My grandmother would always be there to say, "Oh, Tommy, don't get too jazzed up. Don't don't get your blood boiling or anything. And it's like she always interrupted the conversations that I really wanted to have, whether it was to get his opinion on politics, which I know is heated no matter who talks about it, at least in my family. Whenever I wanted to ask him important psychological and philosophical questions, we were never really able to have those deep conversations that I've been told he was very passionate about and could have long, engaging, beautiful conversations, but I never got to have those with him. They always seemed to be interrupted, or just never organically came up. But I wanted them. I wanted to understand his perspective. I had only received one for so long of my life, and I wanted another. I wanted his. He died of lung cancer, September 2013. At that time, I already lost my grandfather on my mother's side. I had lost multiple friends from chemo even before then, but now I was losing someone that I really wanted to know and would no longer be afforded the opportunity. Just this past year in August, my grandfather passed away too, his dad. My grandfather always tried to do his best by us whenever he was around, but he worked a lot and very hard, so we didn't get to see him too much. I remember from a young age, because of how into golf I was, he had promised for my 18th birthday that we would go to Scotland and play at St. Andrews. It was on my bucket list. It is on my bucket list. Only now I would have to complete that trip alone. Well, maybe not alone. Maybe my brother and I can go. That'd be nice. But we never got to go on the trip. Maybe it was... I'm not going to speculate too many reasons why. The fact is we never got to go, and it hurts. A lot hurt about today. Some in beautiful ways, some in sad ways. I'm starting to make golf something I want to do all the time. It's been a passion of mine for so long, and I lost it for a time too. But two prominent male roles in my life who share this passion, this love for this game, are not with me. And I think about it. When I first started deciding that I wanted to pursue golf, I started thinking about mentors on who could be there to help educate me on the game. I don't want to say necessarily for free, but at the same time, who would have loved to have been there or be there to help develop my game, to share my passion, to care about my future in it. And my first thought was my dad, because he would have absolutely loved to be here with me, to play the game often, to build a relationship that we never had. It would have been really nice. I would have really liked that. I have friends with all different relationships with their fathers. Some that love their dad, some that do not love their dad. I even have a couple friends that don't even know their dad, whether they're deceased or alive. All I want to say is, I don't get enough time to know or understand who my father was when he was alive. And the entire opinion that I had of him wasn't truly even my own. And now that he's no longer with us, I still find myself in question from time to time. And just like anything, I love to get my information right from the source if I can. And I've learned so much about him that only makes me want to have known him more. And I don't want to seem like I'm the person who knows all, because I don't. I barely think I know anything on this world. There's so much information and knowledge and wisdom to possess. But if you find yourself with the opportunity to get to know who your parents are as individuals and people, and how they navigated through life to making the decisions they made, I think that's a really special relationship that you can foster and care for. Not everyone gets that opportunity, and I think you might be surprised what relationship you can build with someone when you really get to know who they are outside of just the relationship of, well, they're my dad. And I play in memoriam of them, in honor of them, because they are always with me, although it's sometimes hard to get direct feedback while I'm on the course without them. And I love playing with these guys. It's very nice getting to be with my buddy and watching the good time that he gets to have with his dad it's nice. Sure, maybe I'm a little envious, but I can see the beauty in the relationship, and it's amazing to be there and watch. I just wish I was able to partake in the same kind of experience now that I'm deciding to really dive in. So that's today's episode for you. Keeping this one short, sweet, a little bitter, I'm sorry. Not bitter, in the sense of, ooh, that's yikes, but more like bittersweet. It's a bit sad. I apologize. I don't like to be sad. I like to spread happiness and joy, and I always will. And like I said, there is a beauty in all of this, but there are the days when we get swept away by sadness. But I still have hope. I still have faith. I know every time I step out onto that course, they are there with me, and they always will be. I look forward to the day to actually going to play at St. Andrews and feeling them there with me. So thank you all for tuning in and listening again. Please, if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, please comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear any questions that you guys have, and don't forget to hit that bell to get notified. I do like to drop all of my videos on Tuesdays of every week, so stay tuned. There will be another episode coming 1 week from today, and I love you guys.